Welcome to In the Cut, the show that gets you up close and personal with BN and our community.
Good afternoon, evening, or morning. Welcome to In the Cut, the show that gets you up close and personal with Black non-believers and our community. My name is Edith Gray, and I am your host for the show today. In the Cut is a production of Black Non-Believers, a 501c3 organization headquartered in the Atlanta area. We connect with Blacks and other allies who are living free of religion and might otherwise be shunned by family and friends by providing a caring, friendly, and informative community. Instead of accepting dogma, we determine truth and morality through reason and evidence. The mission of Black Non-Believers is to provide secular fellowship. We're here to nurture and support non-believers in coming out, in open identification as a non-believer. We encourage pride in non-religious identities. We educate the public on the history and the current state of non-belief in the Black community. We organize events and charitable causes. You can find us at BlackNonbelievers.org. At Black Non-Believers, we welcome all, regardless of age, gender, identity, sexual identity, national origin, or racial identity. However, our content and our work prioritizes Black non-religious voices. So at this time, I would like to introduce the president and founder of Black Non-Believers. Mandisa Thomas is at a conference today in Little Rock, Arkansas. She's at the Secular Student Alliance conference, and we are so glad that she is there and cabling and getting all the great information and being a part of the solution. How you doing?
Yes, I am doing well, Edith. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I am currently at the University of Arkansas in Little Rock at the Donahue Student Center, where the conference is taking place. So you might hear some background noise. There's a lunch break, but there are still folks in here, talking with attendees, and I'm going to grab some of them, perhaps to say a few words on the air with us, live with us. And so for those of you who aren't familiar, the Secular Student Alliance is the largest secular group that provides support and community and engages student activism. There has been a lot of talk. There's been actually Olivia, who was on the show back in January, whom you interviewed, Edith. She is around. I've asked her to come to say a few words at some point. She'll probably be coming over here. And their annual conference helps engage students in activism, community, helping them learn how to, if they are interested in starting a chapter at their school, how they can do that and how they can be supported in that, not just with the SSA, but also at their universities or colleges and high schools, but also by the community around them. So there have been some movement leaders that have come out of the Secular Student Alliance that they got involved in activism when they were students. And it's important for us to recognize the power and engagement of young people. So I think it has been absolutely fantastic. It's been great to be here. For those of you, if you remember, we co-sponsored a Hurston Student Scholarship, which helps Black non-religious students. And here I have Olivia,
hello,
who is the chief organizer.
See you again, Olivia.
She's here. I asked her to say a few words to everyone. You are live on In the Cut.
Oh, hello.
Which is live at SSACon.
Yes.
So how has your experience been with organizing?
Well, it was a very long process, very involved. I've been wearing many hats, and there's so many different moving parts. But I'm so happy to be here and see everything coming to fruition. It's so beyond worth it, and meeting all of the students and having our amazing speakers come. It's just been such an incredible experience. And we just saw Miss Major, and
Yes.
and she was so incredible. I was crying. It's just I'm just so blessed and honored to not only be a part of this, but to have been such a huge part in organizing it. And
so for those who aren't familiar with Miss Major, can you give a bit of background on her?
Yeah, so she was at Stonewall, first of all, which is incredible. But she has been a trans rights and just LGBTQ rights activist for forever. Like, she was born in the 1940s. So she is likely, one of the first major, especially Black trans women, to be out and proud and doing the work. She's been incarcerated several times and brings to light the experiences that trans women have in prison, which is just absolutely horrible and torturous. And so it was very inspiring to hear her speak, and her whole point talking to the audience is like, look, you guys are young. You've got to do the work. Like, if you really believe in this, it's you who is going to change this world and move these mountains, and please vote and everything. And just hear, of course, we hear these things all the time, but coming from her, it was just so powerful and inspiring.
Yes, and so she was a recipient of the Backbone Award, which I was honored to receive in 2019, and it does honor a secular activist. Does she explicitly identify as secular that y'all know of? Or because I know in certain areas of activism that tends to be secondary or tertiary to the other issues, but it isn't, we think it's important that, if they are, whether they are or aren't, but if they are, then it's great for them. I don't know how she could be a fundamental believer after going through all of that.
Yes.
So
I don't know in detail exactly what her beliefs are. I believe that she potentially could be like a Christian or spiritual in some way, but she is, at the end of the day, like a secular person because she fights for religious freedom and for secular values, and definitely believes in the work that we are doing here.
Yes, so, absolutely. Yes. So how would you describe the conference, and would you encourage more of our viewers to attend in the future?
Yes, absolutely. So our Secular Student Alliance Conference, it is primarily for students, but at the same time, I invite everyone to come. This is an extremely growth inducing and inspiring place to be. And our workshops that we have and presentations that we have, they are powerful and educational for everyone, I would say, of all ages. I've had people coming up to me who are, in their 50s and 60s and just being like, this has been such a great experience. And I was actually just talking to someone earlier about how we need to get more people here who, besides just students. So please, yes, next year, in the future, please come. It doesn't matter if you're a student or not. We would love to have you here.
Now, Edith, did you have any questions for Olivia before we let her go?
I don't think I have any, unfortunately. It's just great to see you again.
Yes, nice to see you too.
I guess the one question is, I hope you'll come back on the
yes,
show again.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime, I'm happy to come on in the cut. I absolutely love being here. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Olivia. And we know you're busy, so I know there's things you got to run around.
I'll get out of here, get the next person in.
All right, girl. I will see you. We'll see you around.
Yes, see you around.
All right, girl. See you later. Yeah, so everyone, that was Olivia Goudot with the Secular Student Alliance. She is the organizing manager, and she's also the main organizer for this conference. And she's been doing a wonderful job. I mean, it has just been fantastic. So, for those of you who are still interested in getting active, you can do so and support the Secular Student Alliance as well as Black Nonbelievers. Again, we work in partnership with each other. And it's important. There have been quite a few Black students here who, and folks that we've been talking to, who of course asked us the question about diversity and inclusion and how can we get more people of color involved, and how can they support. And the one thing I always say is, diversity isn't just about who we are and how we look, it's also what we do. So, many secular folks tend to be a bit, we tend to, we like research, we like data, we like books, but there's also, and then of course, we care about the issues that affect us, especially regarding like church state separation, keeping Christian, trying to eliminate and end Christian nationalism, which impacts reproductive justice, economic justice, all of these things that young people and everyone need to be aware of. And so, we talk about all these things, but also how does that connect with other marginalized communities and folks who didn't have a chance to go to school, because that's an important piece to activism as well. It's like, how are you relating to people every day? And when you go to certain neighborhoods or certain demographics, you have to be mindful of what it is that they deal with the most. How do you engage them? And it should be more social and hospitable and friendly in nature. And so that is the type of advice that I like to give. It's more, yes, we are in this as people, but with us being in it as people, you got to get to know people. You really do. And just simply beyond your cause, simply beyond what is important to you, how do you live those values every day? How do you treat people every day? Because that often makes a difference. So like here at this school, there is I've seen quite a few Black students here within the student body, but of course, a lot of the employees are Black and in the service industry, and I tend to look at that very closely. I tend to look at how people treat service persons.
Right.
Because that says a lot about your character. It says a lot about the person you are when you're treating people, how you treat people who serve or who are in service to you in some way. That says a lot about your ability to engage and be an activist.
Right.
Because I'm like, there are quite a few people who can get on the stage and be and be very motivational and electrify the audience, but once you get off that stage is what matters, and so that is something that is that's always been quite important. Okay. As far as what it is that we're doing. And so I've always appreciated SSA and their very active engagement with students and just in the community at large. I've always been impressed with how they organize their events, and also getting the students involved with that. There's always candy. I have our mints, but I also got some chocolates as well. And there's always been all kinds of things that that folks can participate in. The registration usually includes food as well. So, I mean, I had breakfast this morning, so I'm not going to have anything else for right now. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a pretty lengthy day. But it's all, there's just some really, really good information. Like this evening, they're going to be screening a documentary called Bad Faith, which is about Christian nationalism and how it is eating its way into politics and into
right.
How we,
it's eating away at our human rights.
It really is.
It really is. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yep. That should be a good thing to watch. Yeah. So I was just going to ask about, I know that University of Georgia Athens has a chapter. So
Mm-hmm.
If any folks from our home state made it out that way.
Yes, as a matter of fact, there was a student from the University of Georgia at Athens. Nice. who was here, and she told me that that's where she was from. I've actually spoken with the UGA SSA chapter like a few years ago. Okay. And so it's good to see that they're still active, because one of the challenges that SSA has is that sometimes, when the student leaders graduate, sometimes, the
Yeah.
groups kind of either die out or they go through a lull. And
Right.
so it's also good to kind of keep up the leadership and foster leadership amongst the underclassmen, so that when they become, so to keep that leadership pipeline going. And so, yeah, that tends to be a thing among the student groups, but you have some very strong ones at Sir. I'm not sure if the Georgia State Secular Panthers are still active. I need to look into that. Because they've been around for a little while. There was a group, there used to be a group at Kennesaw State and also at Clayton State University.
Yeah.
Marcus, one of our members, was a part of the Clayton State SSA group
Yeah.
at one time.
I've
So,
only
mhm.
so I've only lived in Georgia almost 5 years, so I'm not quite clear if there is any university or school in Macon.
Yeah, I mean, there are.
Technical schools, even just
Mhm.
yeah. Just curious because I had a friend who is doing political activism, and he was in Macon, and he was telling me about his experiences there, and
Mhm.
so I was just curious. I don't. That's why I asked. This was just
Yeah,
interesting.
no, I
He
mean, I
was telling me about activism and politics, and he was getting a
Mhm.
real pulse, taking the pulse
Yeah.
of the electorate there, and
Mhm.
there were some troubling things, and then there's also some hopeful things. So
Absolutely. And I know Macon has had a string of like secular groups there. I thought there might have been like a HBCU there because but I'm not really sure. But yeah, you said there are technical colleges there. There are I think there might be a University of Georgia campus there. But that's something to look into. But Macon is it's still almost like that good old boy kind of town, that southern town. But what was interesting is that before I leave Little Rock, I'm definitely gonna go and check out and go visit and take pictures by Central High School. For those who aren't young enough to remember, Little Rock was, a very, very major turning point in civil rights. History was here in Little Rock with the Little Rock Nine, with the Black high school students that integrated Central High School, and they endured all sorts of harassment and violence towards them, towards a lot of the white people here. And from what I understand, it is still an active high school. They have a museum there, and from the pictures, it just looks like it's just an amazing building. It's like it's still standing in time. So
yeah, that'll be good for you to go visit there. And
yeah, 'cause I love to take pictures. I love to go to, like, especially civil rights historic sites. And I think that's one of the reasons why they chose Little Rock. SSA has always been very, very good about recognizing the intersections of, secularism, also racial justice, reproductive health, reproductive rights, and LGBTQ rights, of course. And so Miss Major, who was the Backbone Award winner, actually lives here. So there is a piece to this that is very important to American history that includes Black history and Black folk. So, I definitely appreciate how they were able to incorporate that into their conference this year. And it's a very interesting campus. Of course, I think one of the major HBCUs in Arkansas is the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. I'm not sure how far away that is from Little Rock, but I see Edith typing. but yeah, so we it's very, it's good to know that there is a robust student body here, and that there is a local group, the Arkansas Society of Freethinkers, that has been one of the major sponsors here, and they've been involved with the organizing of this conference as well. There's usually a local group that they get involved whenever they go to different cities and different campuses. Local groups are very integral to doing what they do here. And so, I once again we'd like to encourage folks to. We are in the middle of our summer fundraising drive, as of course at BN, because we are a 501c3 organization. We do encourage folks to donate to our work, because again, one of the things that we do sponsor is the co-sponsor is the Hurston Student Scholarship for Black non-religious students. Last year we had on Julius Calvert, who was the recipient from last year. And, it's important for us, that's important for the engagement, because we do value education. We do value, of course, providing that community space. And so it is critical for these partnerships to take place, and also for us to continue to do our work. We do need your support. So, I mean, we thank everyone that is tuning in to the broadcast today. And it's a little more quiet right now, but I'm going to actually borrow Ryan. Ryan, can I borrow you for a moment? So our next guest, you're live on our YouTube show in the cut.
Hello.
Yeah, so Ryan
Everybody.
Jane is with the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Can you tell folks what you do there?
Yes, I'm Ryan Dudley. I'm one
Ryan
the other
Dudley.
Ryan.
Oh my gosh.
We have
yes.
two Ryans. We do the same job basically. So I'm the state policy manager at FFRF and for FFRF Action Fund, which is our new C4 that we launched last year to be able to lobby, endorse candidates, and all that stuff. So we actively fight in state legislatures across the country. These anti LGBTQ bills, all these bills that are inserting racial Christian nationalism into our society.
Right.
So why is it good for FFRF too? Because y'all work very closely with the Secular Student Alliance. What are some of the initiatives that y'all have worked with SSA on?
Yeah. So I know that we are actively helping them with some free speech issues for sure. And we are, so I know in West Texas, there was I'm going to get the facts a little bit wrong because it's just off the top of my head. But when there was a president of a West Texas A&M University who banned a drag show out there, and students kind of all came together, we assisted those students in that cause as well. That's the first one that comes to mind, but I know our legal team has done a lot of work with SSA in assisting students in that regard.
And y'all also offer student scholarships
yes,
as well.
Yep.
So
we are always looking for our next Student Activist Award. I think it comes up once a month. We see some student out there doing something really cool. We're like, oh, this could be a great student activist. And there are so many out there. There are so many young people out there doing cool work. I think they need to be recognized.
Agreed. So you and I are going to be actually co-hosting on a few upcoming Ask an Atheist show that FFRF does.
Yep. So Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tune into that. That'll be exciting.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar, FFRF does do a weekly show which goes on Facebook Live and YouTube called Ask an Atheist. So I have had the opportunity to be on there a few times.
Okay.
And so I'll be on there again, and Ryan will be hosting. We'll be talking again.
Yes. I heard Mandisa was going to be on there, so I jumped on the opportunity to host. So I'm excited to do it. So everybody needs to tune in.
Yes. And so finally, before I let you go, so you and I had the opportunity to do some lobbying in DC back in, is that February? It was March.
Yeah.
So we passed by a particular representative's office, which has some really, really just awful stuff. Can you tell the folks whose office that who you had to tell me who that was?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let some people guess before I tell you who it was. So we walked by, it was a Georgia representative, and it said there are only two genders. Really big, and if you haven't guessed already, it was Marjorie Taylor Greene's office, of course, who's making her grandstanding nonsense very, very evident. So
yes, it was awful to see.
Yes.
And they had a big old sign. I mean, there is actually a mural outside of her office that is a dedication to Trump. And to anti-science.
Yep.
And the fact that she is allowed to do that in a federal government building It's just absolutely insane.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, these are the types of people who are in legislation, and the fact that why it's now more important than ever for organizations like FFRF and for us to be in partnership with you all, so that
Yep.
we can so that we can stay on top of these things, because this is much more crucial than people realize.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I've just got to interject and say yes. And it starts with the youth. It starts with the students. They are the ones who are impacted the most by this, by those type of leaders being in place. And yeah, I have two kids. They are in their 20s, and it's really important for us to support them and provide them, because I talk to a lot of people in that age range. Like I say, my kids are that age range, and unfortunately there's a lot of nihilism about where we're headed.
Mhm.
But they are a smart bunch, and I really have a lot of uh I put a lot of trust in them and confidence that they're going to figure it out, but I'm here to support as much as I can. In our generation, we need to support, but so
Yep.
that
Yep.
was
No, it's really uplifting even being here and just talking to people. It's very inspiring, I guess you could say. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I do see a question over here. Can I address that?
Yeah,
Is there
sure.
a list of candidates you support somewhere? So we are still working on that. That's an ongoing email chain that we have with our IT department. We just rolled out a new batch of endorsements, and we are going to put that up on our website at ffrfaction.org. So check back there periodically, and we will have a new updated list of our endorsements. So
okay, because
Yeah.
that was my question when you first sat down. I am following the Jamal Bowman situation, and was
what
curious.
can you explain what that is, Edith, for
Okay,
folks who
yes.
don't know?
So Jamal Bowman is a congressman, and he works with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he's a Democrat, and he's a progressive Democrat, I would call him. And AIPAC, the American arm of Israeli politics that has kind of choked, has all of our politicians in their grasp for the most part. They have put the most money possible into defeating Jamal Bowman in his race,
Mhm.
the next upcoming race. And
Mm.
they brought in another Democrat who's
Mm.
more like a moderate Democrat, more conservative. And so I was just curious if there was, like you say, you're still working on your list.
Mhm.
So I'm just curious if that
Yeah.
would be someone.
It's somebody we can certainly look at. We have a certain set of criteria. Do they meet our church-state separation criteria, right? Do they support bodily autonomy, free choice, and all that stuff like that? And I'm pretty familiar with Representative Bowman's work. So yeah, I think he would meet our criteria. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
Ryan,
for having me. This was
stopping
this
in
was
on our
awesome.
show.
Yes.
Yes.
Tune in to Asking Atheists on Thursday.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Everyone. Bye. Thanks,
All
Mandisa.
right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ryan. Yeah, so as you can see, there are some organizations here that we partner with who are doing some fantastic work. And it's just so, important that our viewers know who is doing this work here, and it's important because FFRF has been around for a very, very long time now. And I know Annie Laurie Gaylor and Dan Barker used to go on Phil Donahue years ago. And I think they've been on Oprah before. And so that was at a time, when folks were still kind of new to like atheism or whatever. But I think it's important for folks to know who is out there partnering with us in this work. And I'm actually one of the judges for one of the scholarships that FFRF awards. So I will be reading some of the essays that will be coming in. It's always been an honor to do that. It's a volunteer thing, but whatever helps the students, and for example, I do review the Hurston scholarship applicants as well. Perhaps I can enlist some of our new board members and new affiliate leaders to kind of help us, kind of feel through them, because the scholarships are for Black non-religious students. And here are some of the criteria which I think everyone can agree on, is that the applicant should at least be identifying with some non-religious or secular identity, right? Whether it's atheist, humanist, agnostic, skeptic, or what have you. And also that they are familiar and involved with student activism, preferably with the SSA in some way. But if not, because LGBTQ activism is important, reproductive health and reproductive justice activism is important. We look for, economic justice activism. A lot of the students are very, very passionate about reparations as well. So these are things that, when it comes to furthering their education, are very crucial to to how we award this scholarship. And I mean, granted, it's not I wish it could be like a full tuition ride, but every bit helps. And it helps when you support our work so that we can support students and beyond. So yeah, I'm going to give that plug once again. Thank you, Detroit Atheist Queen, for sharing the donate link in the chat. If you haven't already donated, please do. Thank you, Edith, for your donation on Instagram. So
You're welcome. It's
yeah.
super easy. It's super easy to do.
Yes.
Please donate.
And just a plug, if you'd like to donate anonymously, you can do that via the website, via the PayPal Giving Fund. You can click the anonymous donor option. And so, yes, please do consider your donation for our very, very important work. We're gonna wait for, like I said, right now is the lunch hour. So we're waiting for one more person to come back. But in the meantime, we'll go to tomorrow is Father's Day. And for those of you who are celebrating, first, let me just start Cynthia. Hey, girl, her comment. Yes, bleach, blonde, bad built, butch body.
Yeah,
not bad.
on that as well.
I was wondering how did they ever ask Representative Raskin how hard he tried not to laugh at that?
Oh, I saw him. He was really trying to hold it back, but it was a good one. And the internet has, in due fashion, taken that all the way.
Yes, they have. The remix songs are just like absolutely hilarious. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of the songs that have been made as a result, and it has just been. But at the end of the day, it's sad to see that we have legislators that are sitting who act like this. And granted, it's nothing new to United States history. It's funny because Cynthia and I were having a conversation not long ago about how back in, the olden days of the revolution in the United States, I mean, there used to be actual fights on the Congress floor. There were representatives and who would get into fist fights. They would get into brawls when they were trying to work. And then they would settle certain disputes with a duel, where one person had to die. So it's a part of, unfortunately, this history in this country that people would like to try to obscure and forget. But it's, at a time when, there are so many crucial things on the line, to see very immature legislators happen to worm their way into office, and have these very anti-science and very, very anti-human statements that they make, whether they're just saying it or whether they're putting it out there. is a part of what everyone needs to be aware of. It's like this, like conferences, even when we do the cruise convention, right? And I'm sporting our SSACon shirt, which we will have for 2024. There will be a version of that for those who are coming. So even it's a good opportunity to learn about what is going on in the community, and also how we get involved and get active once we once we are out of the setting, because it has to go. Once we get here and inspire, how do we take that with us? How do we take the next steps and get involved locally, get involved in just every day, and also on a national level as well. Of course, we're in election year. We are encouraging everyone, if you are not registered to vote, go register and vote in all of the elections, right? There are some runoffs in some states. Know who your representatives are. Yes, we will be getting to Juneteenth as well. We recognize and acknowledge Juneteenth. We will be talking about that in when we talk about the events. So please stay tuned for that. So yes, absolutely. It is important for us to stay involved in our civic engagement and know who your candidates are as much as possible. Know which measures are on the table, what you are voting for, because it isn't just candidates. You are also voting for certain bills. You're also voting for certain, there are other measures on the ballot that do affect, that do affect either what's going, what's going on in, your local government, and also on the state level. So it's important to read those other bills and things that are on the table that we should be, that could be voted on, that you are voting on. So
it is it's very important. I know every 4 years people say, okay, this is the most important election, but they're all important, from all the way down the ballot. And the midterm elections are also
yes.
And so, and it doesn't take a whole lot to at least get some feel for each candidate. It's almost, but it's interesting. I usually go to a platform called Ballotopedia.
Oh, okay.
And Ballotopedia, you can put in your address and your name. And if you're a registered voter, they can tell you exactly where your polling place is. You can find out all of the candidates in the races for that particular race or that particular time of year. And all the candidates have an opportunity to post all of their information and their stump speeches or whatever. Not all candidates do it on that platform, but it's kind of, when they do it, it's a nice one-stop shop where you can actually find your candidates. Because it's one of the things I find very interesting. You can find 17 different types of cereal, and they're everywhere. And then when you want to try to find out, well, who's my progressive candidate, you have a problem.
Yeah.
It gets, so yeah.
And people need to know that that it's, all representatives, this is public information. They have public profiles on either on the U.S. Either Senate or House websites.
Yes. Yep.
And one good thing that I like about organizations like the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the American Humanist Association, and also American Atheists, they have, and also the Secular Coalition for America. They have a system for action alerts. If there's a bad bill that is on the table, they can, you absolutely can write or send an automated message to your representative, House representative, or senator, asking them to oppose it. So they make that system easy for you, so you don't. So you don't have to go and you say, oh well, they don't just say, well, write your local candidate about this bad bill. They will point you to who this person is, and it will automate a letter for you depending on where you are. So it's really, really, so we encourage you to sign up for the action alerts from these organizations, because again, they are very much on watching Capitol Hill and watching some of these bad bills, and they will ask you, to oppose it, and you can do so right from when you sign up for it. And depending on your zip code, you can have a letter automated asking them to oppose it. So that's a pretty awesome system.
Yep. I actually did one of those myself earlier this week. I follow someone named Amanda Seals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so there was some political action to take there. So yes, it was rather easy, but it was good. I was glad to do it.
Yeah, and what I think people get, because we're again a 501c3 organization, right? And so people often think that you can't get involved politically, which isn't true. There are limits to that. We are not allowed to spend the majority of our donation dollars, for political campaigns. Of course, we cannot endorse any political candidate. However, we can encourage people to stay involved in the civic, and we can encourage people to vote. We can, yes, I love that. A bleach blonde, bad built, butch body bill, butch bill to oppose. Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah, you're right. The 501c3 is not technically supposed to do that. It's just funny when you mention that, how much the mainstream religious institutions have been.
They cross that line often.
A long time ago and all the time.
Yes.
It's like, I'm going to go pick up they even have election banners and stuff. You go pick them up at the church. It's like, you guys, it's this whole, the privilege is ridiculous. And as we were talking about earlier, why we have politicians like MTG, it's just a long history of privilege, not only white privilege, but I want to say in her case, it's like the Christian nationalist privilege that she's.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's one of the reasons why we have that going on. And that's why we have people like her in Congress. But we do need to push back. And so again, good place to be. And I'm sure you're glad to see the students there who know this and are ready to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Wanting to do that. That is.
Yes, whether they are, I've talked to a few students who this is their first conference ever. Oftentimes when we're in these spaces, we encounter first time folks who are, this might be the first secular event where they've ever engaged with other atheists and like-minded people ever. And it's always, it's always great, for people to learn about what's going on and how they can get involved, but also just fellowship, if you will, and just talk with people, meet new people, learn about what other organizations are doing. And so, it's really, really, it's fun and it's nice to see the students who are, involved and, the folks who are just, just enthusiastic, especially, and just trying to find their way through this, right? Because for some of us, we still don't know at times where we land on certain initiatives, which is fine. But we all, of course, as long as you're making an informed decision and coming to informed conclusions, then that is what matters. And of course, most of us as non-believers, atheists, and humanists do tend to vote progressive. We do tend to vote and look for people who support our values. One of the good things about yesterday, the mayor of Little Rock actually came and gave an opening address to the audience.
That's awesome.
And he's a black, I cannot remember his name, black guy, and he admitted that he's a pastor. He is a Christian pastor, but he said the reason why he was there was because he recognizes how damaging Christian nationalism is, and that he does not just represent Christians. He also represents Muslims. He also represents non-believers. And so he has also partaken in, ceremonies that aren't Christian. And so also he was talking about the new Museum of Fine Arts that's here. Yes, Frank Scott. Yes, thank you for that, Mayor Frank Scott. That's who he was. And, he came by, said hello. I got a chance to shake his hand. It was really, really great that he took the time to address the students here. And he said this was his graduate alma mater, the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. So, and then also, of course, addressing and acknowledging the legacy of the Little Rock Nine, which was a battleground in education, for us. So, it's very, very monumental that we are here in the state and in this space, for this conference, because it started with students.
Yep.
It started with students, and it started with Black students. And so, yes, I can appreciate that legacy and that history has been acknowledged and supported. And so I do encourage folks, for those who are tuning in online, whenever we share information about various events, please do mark your calendars. And speaking of, we're going to be getting into the events shortly, but I want to put it on your radar that for July 12th, I will be debating Kent Hovind, who is a Christian apologist. Some of you know who he is. I have been doing my research on him, and there are some folks who have reached out to me to caution about some things that have occurred at his attraction called Dinosaur Adventureland, which is Dinoland for short. And so it will be streamed publicly via their channel, and they're also going to send me a link so that we can stream it live on our YouTube channel. So just a FYI. And I did ask about Hovind being bit by a rattlesnake. They did confirm that he was, but that he thought one of his daughter's pet snakes got out. And so when he held up a snake, it bit him. And so they said they have, I guess, some snakes got out of their reptile exhibit. And so they've killed 3 of them. They've put sulfur on the property. They've cut down tall grass. And so they are making sure it is safe, because I did ask if he was okay, but then also I asked about the safety measures there at the attraction. So, we're going to be in the next couple of weeks trying to organize a little caravan, if you will. They said they can accommodate up to 100 people in their studio. So if you are in or near the Alabama area, or if you'd like to come down and visit and fly or drive down to Atlanta and then drive over there, then, please please keep that in mind. We'd love to go there to represent. Dr. Hovind will probably not be prepared for us, and how we represent. So definitely, let's make a trip out of it. They offered up space in their cabins for free. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, please let me know so that we can, we can go together as a group and represent. So definitely.
I thought you were going to say about the gentleman being bitten, that he had been demonstrating the power of God and doing the snake handling thing. So
no, I don't think he's a snake handler. He is more of like
medical help.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Right. He's definitely a creationist, but I don't think he does the snake handling preaching. But clearly, he thought it was safe enough to pick up a rattlesnake. And I'm like, yeah, that's an issue. That's definitely an issue. I'm like, you didn't think that it was going to bite you. So yeah, that part right there. I'm like, yeah, I don't do snakes. So yeah.
Well, when you
Yeah,
believe
shout
that,
out to Robin, who did email me about that.
yeah.
Robin is in the chat. So so yes, yeah, I'm definitely gonna stay on my P's and Q's with that, because I realize that any attraction that is in nature is gonna have critters and also other wildlife. So it's important for those of us, you know, who aren't necessarily familiar with that to be careful. But you know, it might be it should be a oh, he is a young earth creationist. Oh gosh, yes, he is.
Okay.
Jeez. But yeah, gosh.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard of him before and probably watched him debate at one point along the line. But yeah, that sounds really fun. I might try to jump in on that.
Yes, I think you should. So we'll make an excursion out of it. We'll take some we'll take some live videos and do some lives either there or on the way there about our experiences. I mean, this could be a fun-ish summer thing. So yeah, let's see how we can make the most of it. And of course, I like to encourage people to once again support the Secular Student Alliance in what they do. They have a variety of scholarships as well. So if you are a student, and if you know of any students that could benefit from the scholarships that SSA offers, please do visit their website and give it a look, and also check to see if there is a chapter in your area that you might be able to get involved in, especially if you're on a college campus. And so we definitely encourage that. So we'll share, we'll definitely share the link to that, and also to how to apply for the scholarships later on in the broadcast. So we are going to get to the events, but do you have anything to say for Father's Day weekend, Edith, before we do that?
I just wanted to say that, yeah, fathers are definitely necessary. And we like dads and we like moms, and parenting as a secular person has its own set of challenges, but a lot of rewards. I guess I want to say my baby daddy, he wasn't a practicing Muslim, so we were kind of on the secular side anyway. But no, if anybody wants to, I was just kind of perusing around, and there's a book called Parenting Beyond Belief by Michael Shermer. He is I forget all his credentials, but he's involved with the skeptic community. And so I might pick that up and read that, even though my kids are grown now. I mean, but yes, we love the fathers.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you, Edith. And before we get to events, there Women Atheists Unload today, or is that today, or is that in the future? I know Cynthia. Can you okay, so yes, at 4 p.m. there is going to be an episode on women on Juneteenth at 4 p.m. Central Time on the Skeptic Haven channel. So you might want to tune into that. So yes, once again, glad to be here at SSACon. It will be taking place for the rest of the afternoon and evening, and it ends tomorrow afternoon. So we will be, we'll be here tabling, selling our merchandise, taking donations, and also engaging the students. We have I bought some chocolates for the table, so that has been pretty popular. And I also have our bee and mints. So, that has been a great thing to just have. While we're engaging in conversation, we're munching on some goodies. So that's always good for events. Just, if you're looking, if you're an organizer or you're looking to be an organizer and you're looking to do this type of activism, try to bring something that folks will enjoy. So yeah, that's always fun to do. But yeah, we'll get to we'll get to the events that are coming up, including today. So thank you once again for joining us. And we're live from SSACon. Appreciate Olivia for stopping by, Ryan from FFRF. I think everyone is just, everyone else is fellowshipping and just kind of having lunch right now. But yeah, we are showing that we are live on. Hey, Nina, how are you feeling? Nina Anke, who is from the Secular Coalition for America, is also here. We featured her last year. If you missed her episode of In the Cut, please do check it out. And also check out Olivia's episode that Edith hosted, which was her first show. So yeah, we're definitely going to get into the events now. Take it away, Edith.
Hey. Okay, well, yeah, great show. Glad you're there and enjoying the conference. So today, the first thing we have on our upcoming events or actual events that's going on right now, we've got in Stonecrest, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, Black Nonbelievers has a table there at the annual Juneteenth celebration of Stonecrest. It's free and open to the public, family friendly. I don't know if we have all the volunteers we need yet. It's from 4 to 9 today. And if I can make it over there, I will definitely jump in,
Yeah, shout out to Elizabeth Ojo and Alvin Nash for being our representatives out there. I know there are some folks that will be going. So yes, if you can help them, Edith, they have some being merch, of course, tabling supplies, and to bring your family too if you can. So yeah, definitely shout out to say hello to Elizabeth and Alvin. They're going to be tabling out there for us.
Great. Yeah, maybe I'll bring the pup with me. That's my family now. Got a little dog. And then next week, June 22nd in Detroit, Michigan, Warren, Michigan, second annual Juneteenth celebration, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, Warren City Hall. You can find information on that at Meetup, Black Nonbelievers of Metro Detroit. Sounds like a good time. Please check it out. Also, same day, Chicago, Illinois, Coffee and Conversation at Afro Joe's, 12:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, Meetup will provide further details at Black Nonbelievers of Chi-Town, Chicago. So there's another Juneteenth celebration. Love to see it. June 30th, again in Detroit, Brunch Talk. It's going to be at 11 a.m. at Ivy Kitchen and Cocktail. And this is another event that you can find more details on at Black Nonbelievers of Metro Detroit Meetup. And then on July 3rd, we are going to have our part 4 of the series, the workshop series called Can We Talk? It's going to be presented by Compassion and Choices and Black Nonbelievers. It's a collaborative event, and we will discuss financial planning and costs at 7 p.m. This is going to be on Zoom, and it's going to be free to attend, but we ask that you register ahead of time. And yeah, that's a very, very good topic. Financial planning is definitely something, we all need to work on and be involved with. And that's it for the upcoming events. We want to also keep you all aware that the Hurston Scholarship, the 2024 scholarship for Black non-religious students is open for applications. Was this the one you were talking about earlier, Mandisa?
Yes.
Yes. And so the scholarship is awarded by BN and the Secular Student Alliance. And the deadline to apply is actually coming up here. We're already in June, so this is going to be July 1st is your deadline for that.
July 31st.
Oh, what did I say?
Yeah.
June?
July 1st.
Oh, no. Okay. Woo. But yes, if anyone knows of some students who are deserving of this scholarship, who display the qualities and the energy for our cause, please make sure they know about this. And then we are also going to let you all know about the Black Nonbelievers SSACon. It's back for 2024. We are going to be setting sail November 29th through December 5th. And we're going to be on the Royal Caribbean's Independence of the Seas. It stops in Labadee, Haiti, and Falmouth, Jamaica. And we are watching the situation there in Haiti. We, at this point, feel like things are going to be okay in those ports. And we want to know, the speakers, Cameron, Candace Dorham, Dragnock Mims, Christy Puckett, Teddy Reeves, and more will be our speakers. And we are still taking money for this. Prices start at $600 per person. That includes your cabin fare. That's a double occupancy, taxes, port fees, and the like. And you've got dining options built into that price. And that also will include your convention registration. So I believe the single occupancy balcony cabins are sold out, but there are still plenty of options available. And we really hope that you will join us and secure your slot there. We've got the link posted. I think we're going to post the link there. And I'm so looking forward to it. I really am. So we hope that you can join us. We're still looking for board members. We got in a couple new ones recently, but if you feel that you're enthusiastic and dedicated and you want to have fun while you're working, we really would like you to apply. We need your input. We need your opinion. We need your support. So please go ahead and go to Be a Board Member and fill out an application. The Godless Gospel Music Project is still looking for singers, particularly tenors. This is a paid opportunity, so please submit your audition at godlessgospel.org. And Mandisa, I believe there was a concert at Godless Gospel coming up soon.
It's been postponed. So unfortunately, Cynthia and I, if you were in New York, and we're looking forward to that appearance, it's going to be tabled for now. We are still working on the album. And also, we are going to be working on future performances. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. And in the meanwhile, until the live, you already have recorded on, and there's recordings and videos of you guys on YouTube.
Correct.
Which I found very inspiring. So check them out. And so, yeah, as always, we'll keep you posted on social media and on upcoming shows. So we want you to check out We Are My Dream Etsy shop, and you can purchase your crochet items there. Custom pieces are available. And finally, if you're looking for a great gift to give at any time of the year, pick up a copy of Name Dropping. It was created by one of our previous In the Cut guests and new Be In Board member, Deanna Williams and Jesus Reyna. Name Dropping is the frustratingly fun movie trivia card game. So click on the link in the chat to purchase it today at namedroppinggame.com. And that's what we have for announcements and upcoming events. And we just want to, thank you all for joining us today. That wraps up the episode. We hope you enjoyed the show and that you will join us again. We air every first and third Saturday of each month. So please don't forget to like this video and spread the word. Follow us on Facebook at Black Nonbelievers. We're on Instagram at BNonbelievers Inc. And we're on X, formerly Twitter, at BNonbelievers. The B and the N are capitalized. And you could subscribe to us on YouTube at BlackNonbelievers Inc. Once again, we're getting closer to monetizing our channel, so we really thank you for all tuning in and supporting us. And you can find your local BN affiliate on Meetup, or you can join all of them. Remember, we're looking for new organizers on Meetup, and so be sure to complete the volunteer form on our website. And you can learn more and make your tax-deductible donation to blacknonbelievers.org/donate. If you want to represent BN even more, you can get your swag. We've got shirts, hoodies, mugs, shot glasses, and more from our online store. I love my Black Nonbelievers mug. I use it on a regular basis now. It's good. It says "Walking by Sight, Not Faith" on one side, and it's got the BN logo. There you go. Yes, I love it. I love it. So that's what we've got for you. Thank you, Mandisa. And
Thank you, Edith.
a shout out of thanks to all the folks that stopped by your table to talk to us today. And take care, and we will see you all next time.
Bye-bye.